Kansas City overnight, and a look forward at our town today.
Cynthia Smith and Phil Witt tonight on Action 4 News.
Good evening. It is back on track at the Talbot Block.
Good evening. Tonight on the new RO, celebrating the achievements of Ottawa businesswomen fighting to save an inner-city school and searching for treasure in the nation's capital. Your news begins right now.
Live from the new RO, this is Ottawa's News.
Some of the capital's most successful entrepreneurs are being toasted to kill Christopher.
Marie Green, Bob McIntyre, Rob Malcolm. This is VR News, live at 11.
Good evening, everyone. Kids playing with matches, getting the...
It was adding insult to injury. A woman robbed while trapped inside her car after an accident.
San Antonio's news leader. This is Ken's 5 Eyewitness News at noon. Coverage you can count on.
Flags continue to fly at half-staff today in honor of 48-year-old SAPD officer Hector Rivera Garza, killed yesterday in the line of duty. Good afternoon, I'm Cindy Cassiano.
I'm Fred Lozano. Funeral arrangement.
You're watching Ken's 5 Eyewitness News at noon with Fred Lozano, Cindy Cassiano, and Bill Taylor Weather. Ken's 5 Eyewitness News at noon.
A San Antonio woman's recovering this noon after being involved.
Now, the area's only 9 o'clock newscast, Fox News at 9.
I'm Hector Contreras. The family of Frank Garcia speaks out. He's the man accused of killing his wife and a San Antonio police officer. That's coming up.
And could it possibly be a normal day for students at the elementary school right across the street from that shooting? We'll see.
We'll have the latest on a fatal plane crash near Aspen, Colorado.
And one man's junk is these artists' treasure. It's later on the Edge. First on Fox tonight, the survivor of yesterday's triple shooting that killed a young mother and a police officer speaks out.
You're watching Fox News at 9.
The Night Beat's next.
This is KSAT 12 News, Night Beat.
Good evening, I'm Leslie Mouton in for Ursula Perry.
And I'm Steve Spriest.
One day after San Antonio police officer Hector...
A warmer week on the way. Details after the game.
If the bill goes through, it's land that will be confiscated, and we're out to fight it.
A Texas farmer is prepared to fight for land that could be used to supply water for San Antonio. Spurs fever is heating up. The Bucks in town in what could be a preview to the NBA Finals. And the Longhorns and Aggies hit the gridiron for some spring football. We'll have all the action in sports. Now, here are the winning lotto numbers.
40, 24, 49, 28, 21, and 13. Good evening. A spot in the playoffs, it's all locked up. Home court advantage, a very distinct possibility, and now...
Live from the Riverwalk downtown, you're watching News 4 San Antonio with Roy Galvan.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
(2009).
This is your news. WTWO News Channel 2, late edition. Live with the Wabash Valley's 24-hour news team. Your news advantage starts now.
The Sullivan Recycling Program gets some help to help get you to recycle. Hello, I'm Tom.
And we, see?
You are on vacation.
Okay, let's move this over here. There's this little trap, a little weatherman trap. We have heavy snow up here in central and northern New England still going on right now.
From the scene to your screen through facilities of the Los Angeles Times, the Times KTTV newsreel brings you tonight's top stories. Artillery halts Red Drive on Seoul. price control head quits in dispute, and a television first in a taxi cab. Now, the full report on these and other events of Tuesday, May 1st.
News at Night with Dan McClellan, Joanne Nugent, meteorologist Michael Coos, Adam Cook, Shannon Tyler.
Welcome back. Well, if you're anything...
Don't you...
Now, live from Fox 10 Studios, Arizona's best, Fox 10 News at 9.
The signs on the apartment say do not enter. It's now a crime scene where a mother lost her life. I'm Tyler C. Swarta.
And I'm Linda Williams. The murder may have been witnessed by the woman's young son.
Fox 10. You're watching Fox 10 News at 9 with Linda Williams and Tyler C. Swarta.
The captain of the Japanese fishing vessel sunk by a U.S. submarine is expected. Only on Fox tonight.
Your first look at tomorrow's weather with John Carroll.
Well, folks, here's the scene.
Trip down the aisle tonight.
Arizona. Good evening, everyone. A birthday party is at the heart of a dispute that is dividing one North Phoenix neighborhood.
Be in the know with KPHO. This is TV5 Morning News.
Good morning again, and thanks for choosing TV5 News. An important consumer recall.
Story still ahead. We won't waste your time.
Fox 45. Live from WBFF-TV in Baltimore. This is Fox 45 Morning News.
The wrecking ball is...
This is Vancouver Television.
Why did they come to harm her? That's what she's thinking.
Tonight, a new low. Surrey thieves brutalize a wheelchair-bound senior citizen.
Here come the goodies. An ICBC rebate is the latest sign that a spring election is in the air.
Go out and vote, but just not for...
And taking it off to get out the vote. The son of a former premier fights voter apathy on campus.
This is VTV News at 6.
Good evening. It is a crime that has appalled an entire community. The theft of a motorized wheelchair.
Oh, despite the Grizzlies controversy, we're talking hockey tonight. Watch it.
With Sonny Nordahl Curry, we'll have your next news at 11 o'clock. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening. It's been almost 10 years since the brutal assault on pro-democracy protesters in Beijing's Tiananmen Square.
I'm Russ Froese.
I'm Jennifer Mather, and this is Global News. Tonight, the huge impact of high heating costs. Schools consider cutting programs while the government backs off plans for a hydro rebate.
Downtown Vancouver plunged into darkness. A look at the fallout from a major blackout.
And a warning about a potentially fatal disease. Abbotsford is told to be on alert for meningitis.
Live, this is Global News.
Good evening. Soaring gas prices are hitting your neighborhood schools, hitting them hard.
Global News, a world worth watching.
From CBC News, Canada Now.
I'm Ian Hannamansing in Vancouver. Galapagos threat. An oil tanker runs aground off one of the world's most fragile marine environments. Hamas attack. Dramatic pictures of the bombing of an Israeli tank.
And I'm Gloria Makarenko. Transit levy in limbo.
It means that something has to be cut.
Ferry fire. Relief supplies for El Salvador were on board.
Looking at this, I'm sort of very heartbroken right now.
Good evening. Also tonight, a Nigerian teenager is flogged for having premarital.
So it's a rat maze, you know. All it's good for.
He's talking about this. It's supposed to help some East Side commuters, but you may not like what it does to your commute.
And talk about your funny money. You have to see this bogus Bush $200 bill that worked.
Plus, is Amazon.com laying off employees who support the union? Here are the claims being made and what could be done about it. Good evening, I'm Susan Hutchison.
And I'm Brian Wood in for Steve Rabel tonight. Cairo 7 Eyewitness News begins right now.
With complete Northwest news coverage, this is Cairo 7 Eyewitness News at 6:30.
From western Washington to the Southern California coast.
LA's #1 choice for news. Fox 11, 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, I'm Christine Devine.
And I'm John Beard.
They're finally on American soil after...
To the Southern California coast.
LA's #1 choice for news. Fox 11, 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, I'm Christine Devine.
And I'm John Beard.
They're finally on American soil after 11 days in China against their will.
You're watching Fox 11 News with John Beard and Christine Devine.
A pit stop on the road to freedom.
Live, the Channel 4 News at 11. Paul Moyer, Colleen Williams, Fritz Coleman AccuWeather, and Fred Rogan Sports. Coverage you can count on.
A crisp salute tonight to the 24 crew members of a U.S. reconnaissance plane touching down on American soil finally. They have finally begun their journey home from China after 11 agonizing days. Now their families, some of them right here in Southern California, getting ready for what will no doubt be an emotional celebration this coming weekend. Good evening, everybody. It's now 11 o'clock, and I'm Paul Moyer.
And I'm Colleen Williams.
We do begin tonight with the end of a tense standoff with China.
This is the Fox 11 Morning News.
Freedom.
This is CBS 2.
This is a Channel 4 editorial.
Take
11 alive.
Monday, August 22nd, the shocking story of New York's homeless families living in squalid, roach-infested hotels. The threat of another Long Island Railroad strike hangs over 145,000 commuters. And a new warning against the drug pregnant women take for morning sickness.
Great Neck investigators search for the killer of the girl next door. Charges and countercharges in the assassination of an exiled Philippine leader. Terrorist strike in the Bronx. And good news if you want an FHA mortgage.
In action sports, highlights of the Yankee thriller and the Mets sweep.
And for the 28th time this summer, the temperature reached 90 degrees in New York City, but there's a change blowing in the wind, and I'll have details shortly.
This is Channel 11's award-winning Action News with Pat Harper, Steve Bosch, Jerry Gerard, Bob Harris, and the Action News team.
Good evening. Roaches, trash, and malnutrition.
Well, that's our 7:30 Action News. I'm Tim Malloy.
And I'm Pat Harper. We'll be back at 10 with Independent Network News. Until then, have a really nice evening.
WPIX operates a news bureau in New Jersey at 223 Montross Avenue, Rutherford, New Jersey. The telephone number is area code 201-933-6881.
11 alive.
We never cease to be amazed at the diplomats' ability to find a tiny island of agreement.
This is Eyewitness News with Roger Grimsby and Tracy Egan, plus Spencer Christian, Storm Field, and the Eyewitness News team. Bill Butel is off tonight.
Good evening, I'm Roger Grimsby. Here now the news. For the second time in 2 weeks.
Weather will improve. I'm Steve Powers, and this is the 10 o'clock Weekend News. Good evening. Nature's fury was felt from
WNBC TV, this is News 4 New York with Ralph Penza and Anna Bond.
Good evening, I'm Jim Ryan. Ralph Penza has the night off.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Bill Butel and Diana Williams. Scott Clark with sports. Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. And the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
From WNBC TV New York, this is Live at 5 with Jack Cafferty and Sue Simmons.
Good afternoon. Another New York City subway train has gone off its tracks, the 13th derailment so far.
Thank you for watching. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow when our guests include Betty White and Bob and Doug McKenzie from the Great White North. News 4 New York is next.
This has been Live at 5 with Jack Cafferty and Sue Simmons. Live at 5 is a presentation of News 4 New York. This is Don Pardo speaking.
From WNBC TV, this is News 4 New York with Chuck Scarborough and John Hambrick.
Good evening, I'm Anna Bond. John Hambrick is off tonight, and so is another subway train. It's off the tracks.
Derailment number 13 for the year, this one in a pretty scary place. One car of a Broadway IRT jumped the tracks on a bridge connecting Manhattan.
Let's get our first check of this morning.
From KHOU TV Houston, the spirit of Texas, this is 11 News with Sylvan Rodriguez, Claire Casademont, Dr. Neil Frank with weather, and Gif Nielsen on sports. 11 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Washington is reacting tonight to that.
You're watching WVUT Vincennes. Now, first at 4. Live from WAWS Jacksonville, this is Fox 30 News at 4.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Paige Kelton.
And I'm Jack Miller. Here's what's ahead on Fox at 4. Jackson. When your honey comes home, you tell them all about your day, right? But what if you already spent all day together, even working together? I'm Jack Miller. Married couples are making working wedlock the in thing, but there could be trouble as well. Two's Company, does it work? Tonight on Fox 30 News at 10.
Live from Jacksonville, this is WTEV 47 News at 6:30.
The countdown to NSYNC's Pop Odyssey concert is on, and excited fans are ready for tonight's big show. NSYNC's Pop Odyssey 2001 Worldwide Tour kicks off in about an hour at Algel. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russell Motley.
And I'm Beverly Brooks. The first of 45 shows is in.
Now, live from WAWS Jacksonville, this is Fox 30 News at 10:30.
A hitman hired to kill his own father. Miami police say it's a true story. So much for choosing Fox 30 tonight.
Have a great evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4 and 10.
Turn
First, fast, accurate. News 2 at 5 starts now with breaking news.
Good evening, everyone. We do begin tonight with breaking news. A man wanted for multiple sex crimes in Nashville is caught in Alabama.
News 2's Nancy Hoskins joins us live from Hermitage, where some of these crimes...
And for people getting charged $2,000 for a 1-minute call, we're talking serious impact on your budget.
First, fast, accurate. News 2 at 6 starts now with developing news.
Good evening, everyone. We want to update you on some breaking news from News 2 at 5.
A Nashville man accused of rape.
The checkered flag is ready to wave down race fans in one Middle Tennessee community exactly 1 week from today.
Affect traffic for weeks. The news is right here, right now.
From your news and information leader, this is News Channel 5 at 5 with Amy Marsalis and Steve Urban.
Good evening, everybody. It's been a bad day for drivers on the north side of town.
And it's only going to get worse. You can see from Skycam the northbound lanes of I-60
has done. From your news and information leader, this is News Channel 5 at 6 with Chris Clark and Vicki Yates.
Good evening, everyone. Bad behavior. We've covered stories about bad kids before.
Again at 6 o'clock. News 4 continues now at 5:30 with Ileana Varela and Brian Norcross.
Thank you, Cambrell. Up next on News 4 at 5:30, a mother in tears. Her baby switched at birth.
A real drug bust in action? Well, almost. We'll explain what all the heavy machinery is about.
And a senior citizen proving you're never too old to be a hero. News 4 at 5:30 starts right now.
Live from WFOR-TV, this is News 4 South Florida.
And good afternoon. I'm Brian Norcross.
And I'm Ileana Varela. Some clever cooks are dialing for your dollar, scamming South Floridians out of thousands.
Gets his first checkup at Metro Zoo. News 4 at 6 starts right now.
Live from WFOR-TV, this is News 4 South Florida.
I just want to thank everybody.
Hey, Barry, thank you very much.
In other news today, a teenager.
Tonight, Thursday, June 7, 2001. A Washington intern missing for weeks. Now friends say she and a congressman were more than friends. Chicago school CEO steps down. Is Paul Vellis setting his sights on Springfield?
I'm sure they could do, like, studies of what all I'm putting in my mouth.
Nail biting. It's not just a nervous habit. It could be dangerous. And the appeals are over. And the clock has started on Timothy McVeigh's date with death. This is Fox News at 9.
And good evening, I'm Walter Jacobson. Robin is off tonight, and our top story of the night is Timothy McVeigh giving up.
Does not want to proceed any further.
Weather and traffic on the 7s, weekdays beginning at 5 a.m. This is Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 News at 10.
Timothy McVeigh gives up his fight to postpone his date with death. Monday stands as his execution day. Good evening. Attorneys for McVeigh say the Oklahoma City bomber is prepared to die.
John, the decision to abandon legal efforts comes after an appeals court denied a request by McVeigh.
ABC 7 News at 10 continues with Diane Burns, John Drury, weather with meteorologist Jerry Taft, and sports with Mark Giangreco.
Police were using high-tech software to look for cases of possible identity.
He's got to be.
I guess not.
How old is he? He's got to be 75. Yeah.
He's younger than I am, Jerry.
Oh, okay. So now we get to hear more Chuck Berry.
Like I said, 75.
If you say goodnight.
Well, he's got some famous planes.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Nightline is next here on Channel 7.
Good night.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox News at 5.
On this Friday morning, June 8th, attorneys for Timothy McVeigh now say he's ready to die and will no longer seek any appeals to delay his execution.
Overseas in Japan, a stabbing rampage in an elementary school. 8 children are dead, dozens are wounded.
And the Crosstown Classic gets underway today as the Red Hot Cubs go to the south side to take on the White Hot White Sox. Also tonight, Ali and Frazier,
yeah.
the daughters will be duking it out. Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Darlene Hill.
And I'm Nancy Lou. Bruce Wolf will have much more on the Sox Cubs weekend series. Stay tuned for that.
Sports and news coming up for you in just a couple of minutes, but first, the weather.
Seinfeld.
Tonight at 6:30 on Fox Chicago.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox News at 6.
On this Friday morning, June 8th, the execution clock is ticking away for Timothy McVeigh after he drops all final appeals.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox News in the morning.
Good Friday morning, everyone, and welcome to Fox News in the Morning. I'm David Navarro.
And good morning. I'm Tamron Hall. In the headlines at this hour, Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh tells his lawyers there will be no more appeals. That means McVeigh will die Monday morning at 7 o'clock Chicago time.
Live from Chicago, David Navarro, Tamron Hall. Weather with Rick DeMaio. Traffic with Sheila White. Entertainment news with Bill Zwacker. Sports and more with Bruce Wolf. This is Fox News in the morning.
Father's.
Esta noche en Última Hora.
Recuerda que estás en Univisión Chicago.
Ahora somos Univisión Chicago. Siempre tu canal.
Tonight at 5 on News Channel 2, are cults thriving right here in Central Florida? A local expert uncovers the reality after an apparent mass suicide in California. Then feathers are flying over who owns this bird. Find out why it's in such high demand. And if you had a mammogram, learn why you may need one sooner than you think. Tonight at 5 on News Channel 2.
TV 20. When you can't watch TV 20 News at 6, take it with you. TV 20 News at 6 is simulcast every weeknight on AM 850 WRUF. Get your news from the source. TV 20 News at 6, only on WCJB TV 20 and AM 850 WRUF.
LA's #1 choice for news. Fox 11, 10 o'clock news.
Good evening. I'm Christine.
Gary Nelson adds a fresh focus at 11 p.m. to the TV 12 Home Team Touch. Gary co-anchors with Mary Stewart on Action News Tonight for a fresh approach to the day's events. Then the late news continues with ABC's award-winning Nightline. Join Ted Koppel and the entire TV 12 Home Team tonight for a fresh focus on today's news events.
We bring the news together. WTLB TV 12.
The Olympic tradition continues on WTLV.
Now, Austin at its best. You're watching KVUE News at 6.
It's a walk of determination to help end family abuse. Good evening. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Mark Murray. Next time you're in any Austin area HEB checkout line, pick up one of these checkout hunger coupons. Do your part to check out hunger right at the register.
From KTBC, Fox 7 Austin, this is Fox 7 News at 5.
Early morning storms do some damage with lightning blamed for at least one house fire in Austin. Good afternoon. It was a rude awakening this morning for much of central Texas.
You're watching Fox 7. We'll see you at 9. Have a great evening.
Your eye on Austin.
It's a school with a troubled past. Principal changes, students arrested, now several coaches let go. Tonight, parents and teachers demand answers. Good evening, I'm Mark Johnson.
And I'm Christy Fletcher. Austin school administrators are looking to the teachers and the parents to solve the problems at Johnston.
You're watching KI News, your eye on Austin. With Christy Fletcher, Mark Johnson, Chief Meteorologist Troy Kimmel, and Sports Director Robert Flores.
You may may know 6th Street as a place to party in downtown Austin.
Yeah, but do you know what the early...
So, traffic cones rigged as bombs, and police think they're targeting young children. Plus, a 70-year-old victim of a fatal alligator attack, and an explanation for the bizarre runaway train in Ohio. That's ahead on Eyewitness News tonight.
You're watching ABC 13, Houston's news leader. Live with Dave Ward, Shara Pryor, Marvin Zindler, Ed Brandon, and Bob Allen. This is 13 Eyewitness News, Houston's news leader. Forget Paris, forget the Caribbean. These women have found a new secret getaway. 13's Melanie Lawson takes you to a special place some women call the ultimate retreat.
It's just been tremendous.
A 13 Eyewitness News Extra tomorrow at 10.
Thanks for making the News to Houston Night Beat team #1. Live from KPRC Channel 2, where local news comes first. This is News to Houston with the Night Beat team.
Come to our houses individually instead of us having to go wait in the hot sun constantly for hours and then you turn us away. Come to our homes because we're cleaning up our homes that we need to come home to.
Anger replaces shock and sadness for many flood victims. They want answers, and tonight, the mayor says he has those answers. Meanwhile, the National Guard and a prominent hospital are facing tough questions tonight about several storm deaths. We have multiple crews working new developments in the wake of Allison's wrath, including a Night Beat exclusive, and that is tonight's big story. Good evening, everyone. For the past 4 days, thousands of flood victims have been jammed into emergency shelters, feeling more helpless and...
En vivo, desde los estudios del Canal 48, esto es un Noticiero 48, primera edición, con Atala Sarmiento, Miguel Amante, María Fonseca.
Ay, madre mía. ¿Qué carrera?
Good evening. A big break on the streets of Philadelphia in a Washington, D.C. cop killer.
Time now for First Weather on Fox.
Well, good evening, everybody. Another warm dealer.
You're watching the CBS 2 Information Network.
Live from Fifth Avenue, this is CBS 2 News at 6.
Our top story on CBS 2 at 6, tragedy hits New York's bravest as 3 firefighters die on the job. Now the search for answers. Good evening, I'm Dana Tyler.
I'm Michael Pomeranz in for Ernie Anastas tonight.
One weekday newscast at 10. And now, the news team at 10. Brenda Blackman, Rollin Smith, Stormfield's weather, and Sports Team 9 with Russ Salzberg and Monica Pellegrini. This is UPN 9 News.
Tonight, tears for New York's bravest. 3 dedicated firefighters lose their lives, and a 4th is still fighting to survive. Now there's word that this tragedy could have been prevented. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rollin Smith.
I'm Coran Mahalik in for Brenda Blackman. And tonight, 3 wives mourning their husbands' deaths.
Residency and other restrictions. See participating retailer.
You're watching UPN 9 News, winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence, with Brenda Blackman and Rollin Smith. Now, here are tonight's top stories.
3 firefighters who died in Astoria are being mourned by family and friends today.
About men, and our entertainment reporter wasn't afraid to ask.
And now, the WB11 News at 10, winner of the prestigious Edward R. Murrow Award for Best Newscast in New York.
Good evening. There are some new theories tonight about what might have started the explosive fire that killed 3 New York City firefighters.
A New York woman falls short in her efforts to gain freedom from...
Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now.
Live from KYW3, you're watching real people, real news. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
And I'm Dawn Sensland, topping KYW3 Eyewitness News at 5.
Live.
You're watching WOTV, ABC 41, Cable Channel 4.
A Battle Creek bar is closed for business after going up in flames.
An extortion case out of Borges Hospital. I'm Melissa Blasius. I'll have a live report. 41 News starts now.
And good evening to you. I'm Ethan Forhetz. Tim and Romaine are off tonight.
41 News is brought to you by Phil Walters Automotive.
for Battle Creek and Kalamazoo. This is your local news with Tim Malone and Romaine Buck. Local weather with Pam Land and sports highlights with Ken Hyde. On 41 News. News from where you live.
And once again, Tim and Romaine are off tonight. I'm Ethan Forhet sitting.
News Channel 6 closed captioning is brought to you by Christus St. Michael Health System and Rehabilitation Hospital. Live from the news station, this is News Channel 6 Weekend.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lane Stone. We begin tonight with a developing story. A powerful earthquake has rocked South America.
The news station for Bossier City, Hope, and Gladewater. You're watching News Channel 6 Weekend. Monday night at 6:30 on News Channel 6. From the news station, you're watching News Channel 6 Weekend.
We will all gain much.
The news station for Marshall, Ashdown, and Ringgold. You're watching News Channel 6 Weekend. And now, Lisa Glacier from the News Channel 6 Forecast Lab.
Good evening, everyone, and it's hard to believe this is...
And now, News Channel 6 Sports with Dave Foster.
7 new members to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame are being inducted this week.
And thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
News Channel 6 closed captioning is brought to you by Christus St. Michael Health System and Rehabilitation Hospital.
KTBS 3 Shreveport, on your side, listening and responding to your needs. This is KTBS 3 First News Sunday.
A local teenager is being called a hero after he saves a little girl from drowning.
Now, with Mega 3 and your Storm Team forecast, here's meteorologist Mark Rowlett in the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab.
Welcome back.
News 12 live at 5. Healthcast.
News 12's health reporter Carolyn.
Coming up on News 12 at 6.
Bossier's juvenile offenders may be getting a monitor on their wrist instead of a slap on the wrist in an effort to ease overcrowding.
And the Sunflowers are back. Come with us on a tour.
Tonight on News 12 at 6. Coverage you can count on. Your next car exclusively on KSLA.com. Finding great values at local car dealers has never been easier.
I'm Denny Rogers from United Auto Dodge. Shop for your next Dodge vehicle online at your next car at KSLA.com.
Hi, I'm Bernie Woods at South Point Ford Mercury. Shop online for your next Mercury car or truck at KSLA.com.
Your next car exclusively on KSLA.com.
Hey. Your Storm Tracker 12 weather with the exclusive Willis Knighton Storm Tracker 12 live Doppler radar.
And welcome back.
From the news station, Fox 4 News at 6.
It's just suddenly a nightmare of something happened and no one knows why.
You're watching Fox 4 News at 6. Clarice Tinsley, Steve Eager, Chief Meteorologist Tim Heller, Mike Ducey with sports. Only on the news station, Fox 4.
At a time when workers are growing more dependent on 401ks for retirement.
Cool is a relative term. Will temperatures hit the 90s today? Anna Allen is in for Ron with the forewarned forecast.
Broadcasting live for Dallas, Fort Worth, and all North Texas. This is Good Day Saturday on Fox 4.
And good Saturday morning, everybody. I'm Eric Lasser.
The Alligator, first your local news.
And now, CBS 11 News tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Tracy has the night off. We begin tonight, 11 to 10.
Good night.
Have a great weekend.
KTBS 3 Shreveport, on your side, listening and responding to your needs. This is KTBS 3 News Weekend.
Lawyers lay out their case against Curtis Wharton, the Shreveport businessman's on trial for the murder of his wife.
And a wife accused of murder waits to see how prosecutors plan to prove she's guilty. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jody Lowry.
And I'm Jerry Bay. Thanks for joining us.
KTBS 3 News continues.
It's a picnic to promote sales.
And now, CBS 11 News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Rebecca Rodriguez.
This is KARE 11 Today.
10:26 right now in the news this morning.
This is KARE 11 News at 5.
We'll hear argument now. George W. Bush and Richard Cheney versus Albert Gore.
It's George W. Bush versus Al Gore before the highest court of the nation in a case that could settle the presidency once and for all. That is tonight's top story on this Monday, December 11th, 2000. Good afternoon. Diana has a day off. Bush's lawyers are asked what could be behind those faulty Firestone tires. A new report, the companies are denied.
You're watching the news on KARE 11 with Paul Majors, Pat Miles, and Ken Barlow. This is KARE 11 News at 5.
Live from the Valley's Choice for local news, this is KVLY News 11's Valley Today.
Good morning, 6 o'clock. I'm Mick Kerr.
And I'm Stacey Deffenbaugh. You're watching the Valley Today.
You are watching the Valley's Choice for local news, KVLY News 11 Valley Today with Mick Kerr and Stacey Deffenbaugh. You are watching the Valley's Choice for local news, KVLY News 11, with Robin Hubner, Terrence Selvig, meteorologist Tom Szymanski, and Dan Hammer Sports. Close.
Live from CBS 4, local and regional news. Accurate, up-to-the-minute weather forecasts. This is CBS 4 News. People you can count on.
Good
Fox. This is Fox, Oklahoma City. Now, the Fox Primetime News at 9, where local news is first.
They've lived here for more than 25 years. Tonight, why they have to move within 30 days. The sun is shining, the fish are biting. Come along as a special group of kids heads to the lake.
If you add in the winds, we get really windy days, and then people start to get careless, then you can have a very dangerous situation.
And firefighters say Oklahoma needs to be extra careful during these hot, dry days. The risk? Wildfires. Good evening, I'm Andrew Spino.
And I'm Kirsten McIntyre. Thanks for joining us. First on Fox tonight, the threat of wildfires has fire. Ahead on the Primetime News at 9, she's a star on the stage and the big screen. But tonight, why Janet Jackson is a disappointment to Canadians. It's not just at the movies you'll find artificial intelligence. Tells in the Fox Lights.
I'm Zach Klein. Coming up, we will take you out to Cog Hill and the final round of the Western Open, where Tiger Woods try to put a little heat atop the leaderboard. Would Scott Hoke and Davis Love III fold? Find out later in sports.
And an alleged axe robber is in the hands of Oklahoma authorities. It's all next.
Here's what's... As the Lakeshore prepares for summer, they need your help. I'm Lisa Nutoff. That story and much more next on Fox 17 News at 10.
You're watching Fox 17 News at 10 for Friday, April 6th.
Why would anybody wait 5 years if this is really true?
She has a young child. She's a single mother. That takes up a lot of her time.
5 years after cashing in a winning lotto ticket, a fight over who should get the $17 million jackpot. Good evening, everyone. I'm Derek Dennis.
And I'm Amy Turner. Thanks for...
From Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore, you're watching WZZM 13 News at 11. You're watching Peter Ross and George Lessons on WZZM 13 News.
Year ago,
Live from Wood TVH, West Michigan's news leader, Dee Morrison, and meteorologist Matt Kirkwood. 24-hour News 8 continues.
The winner of the Masters jacket will soon be
From the Twin Cities, this is Fox 29 News at 9.
3 days in a row of heavy rain across the metro area is filling rivers, streams, and basements. Coming up, tips to keep your things dry.
Massive layoffs at 3M mean thousands of people will lose their jobs. Is this another sign of the end of Minnesota's booming economy?
But our top story at 9, it was supposed to be the major road project this summer. But those new plans for the crosstown south of Minneapolis could be on hold. Good evening, I'm Jordana Green.
And I'm Chris Canangla. It looks like a controversial road project will be put off, at least for now. Several Minneapolis lawmakers have agreed on. You see what it looks like from space.
First, though, the latest in cellular phones. Who decides what goes on the market and what goes down the tubes? The answer may come as a surprise. That's ahead tonight, along with these stories on Fox 29 News at 9.
Watching the Twin Cities' best choice for primetime news with Chris Canangla, Jordana Green, Chief Meteorologist Carl Spring, and sports with John Henk. This is Fox 29 News at 9.
Some grade school students in Wabasha got the day off from...
You're watching KTVI St. Louis. Live, local, late breaking. Fox 2 News at 6 starts now.
It was scary. I was scared. I was scared to death.
She was shot while she rode in a truck, and so was the 3-year-old boy sitting next to her. Straight ahead, a senseless act of road rage that ends in gunfire.
The body of a headless girl is found in Kansas City. Could it be related to an unsolved mystery in St. Louis? St. Louis police say it's a possibility.
And 5 men try to be polite house guests, but end up dead. We have exclusive interviews with family members who can't believe what happened.
But first, severe weather is moving through the Metro East.
Dave Murray has the latest from the Weather Center. Dave?
Boswell.
You're watching Fox 2 News at 6 with Landy Murphy, Dick Ford, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray, and sports with Martin Kilcoy. Fox 2 News, coverage you can count on.
St. Louis Archbishop Justin Regali agreed.
Good evening, I'm Catherine Dambarat.
And I'm Dave Erickson. Coming up on WB11 News, what does it take to make a teen work? An expert says he knows.
And join me tonight for What's Up With That, a series all week long. Tonight, we'll take a look at a man who lives in a steel cage. Plus, what's up with the weather? Join me.
An ancient treasure boat is found and travels to our area.
In some parts of the world, you can use your credit card at Coke machines just by dialing a number.
In Hot Wire Soap, fans can vote for their favorite shows from home.
A Focus 11 investigation, what are your kids really doing at raves? See what our undercover cameras discovered. The news starts now. A new book written by two St. Louis authors reveals what is needed to attract and keep the workforce of the new...
A young boy dies on a Burger King playground. Find out what happened right now on ABC 30 News.
Also a warning from the White House, the nation could face a power crunch. But what we have found out will put your mind and your budget at ease.
Plus, how buying a fixer-upper home could get you a special break on your taxes.
And after weather, my special report, medical mistakes, learn how they're putting many children at risk. Welcome to ABC 30 News at 10. I'm Gina Curry. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And I'm Rick Edlund. He wanted to grow up and be a football player, but after a tragic accident...
And an injury update on Stars forward Mike Modano later in sports.
And after that, a story that would go well with a side of sauerkraut. We'll explain.
You're watching ABC 30 News at 10 with Rick Edlund.
Gina Curry, Karen Shipman, and Rick Powers.
I'm Chris Bury.
ABC 30 News at 10 continues, bringing news home.
He paid $20 million.
Has learned why the Northwest could cut its supply of electricity to the South.
KOIN 6 News at 5 starts now.
With Jeff Gianola and Shirley Hancock. This is KOIN 6 News at 5.
Good evening to you. I'm Shirley Hancock.
I'm Jeff Gianola. It's Thursday night across the Northwest, and here's the latest. The worst storm to hit California in years could...
This is Q13 Reports at 10, the #1 10 o'clock news.
Thanks for joining us. A Northwest teacher is behind bars tonight accused of raping a teenage boy.
The drive-through just driving by this fast food restaurant has one local.
And now, live from WKYC's Digital Broadcast Center, this is Channel 3 News.
Good evening, I'm Ramona Robinson.
And good evening, I'm Jeff Maynard. Tim is off tonight. For some residents in a West Side neighborhood, the warm weather is creating a smelly situation.
You're watching Channel 3 News with Ramona Robinson and Tim White.
Channel 3.
And now, live from WKYC's Digital Broadcast Center, this is Channel 3 News.
Hello, everyone. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Dick Russ. Thanks for being with us today. A woman accused of abusing her dog.
You're watching Channel 3 News with Donna Terrell and Dick Russ.
You're watching the Fox 11 Morning News. Good day, L.A.
Fire races through an Irvine home, leaving 2 firefighters hurt and a family out in the cold.
A teenager accused of stealing an SUV and leading police on a wild chase, even after 3 tires are shot out.
And new details this morning regarding Congressman Gary Condit and his possible relationship with Chandra Levy. One of his former employers is speaking out. Good morning, everyone.
Displays. We'll have the details along with the rain dates. And an actor on one of HBO's top dramas is under arrest. News Channel 4 at 5 starts now.
Live from the NBC4 studios in Columbus, this is News Channel 4 at 5.
Central Ohioans forced to spend much of this Independence Day inside.
3 kids killed in one wreck. Another man dies over the weekend. I'm John Freese on Everett Road in Bath. We'll tell you what neighbors are saying about this dangerous stretch of highway coming up next.
Norton's mayor is fighting for her political life as voters will soon decide if she stays in office. And Comair will spread its wings at the Akron-Canton Airport starting again soon. 23 News starts right now.
23 News is made possible by our founding partners, Summa Health System Hospital, the University of Akron, and First Energy.
Live from downtown Akron, this is PAX 23 News.
Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Good evening. I'm Eric Mansfield. Welcome to 23 News, where Akron and Canton come first. Our top story tonight, 2 accidents on Everett Road in Bath.
Expect the news first. This is Oklahoma's News Channel 4 at 10.
Families headed home today, ready to...
You're watching KOCO TV5, Oklahoma City. Now, live, local, late-breaking. This is Eyewitness News 5 tonight.
To my window and opened the blinds to look out, and I saw a cop car. And
a man...
Eyewitness News 5, live, local, late breaking, with Jim Patton, Susan Parks, Chief Meteorologist Rick Mitchell, and sports with Ron Terrell. Eyewitness News 5 continues.
And carving the nation tonight, a 19-hour standoff ends in Florida.
Now your 24-hour first alert weather with meteorologist Frank Johnson.
We had a cool start to the day today with temperatures in the 50s.
Now, Eyewitness Sports 5 with Ed Doney.
The most controversial closer in baseball.
Expect the news first. This is Oklahoma's News Channel 4.
Good morning, I'm Tara Bloom. Your forecast is coming up, but first...
Gary England, only on News 9.
More local, more meaningful. This is News 9.
An Edmond man opens fire on his neighborhood, leaving one man dead, another fighting for his life this morning. The latest news ahead. Plus, a financial blow to the village. Albertson says they're moving, but only across the street. And a new record budget for Oklahoma State University, but even with the big increase, professors may not be seeing a pay increase. Those stories and more coming up in just a moment. Good morning to you. I'm Kia Malone. Michael Armstrong in now with a look at our weekend weather forecast.
You're watching KWTV. More local, more meaningful. This is News 9.